this music is a turning point for me. It not just represents it, that's exactly what it is. Every time I play it, it means more and more to me. The sound of the music that I'm making with Check in the Dark is pretty much the opposite of what I was doing with Cobra Starship and Robin Thicke and Steven Jerzak, and when I was making more pop music. And it's not that I don't feel pride about the music I was making before. I absolutely do, and it was so fun and just really great, and definitely was coming from my heart. But this is, I can't go back. Shahine and Josh are my two best friends in the whole wide world, and beyond music, beyond anything else, I just love them and rely on them and trust them, and they're just incredible people. They're my soulmates. Hi guys! Hello! George saw my new guitar yesterday because he helped me pick it out, but I got a new guitar! I'm really mad about it!
I'll see it right now.
Okay, I'll show you.
We want to hear it. We don't want to hear about it. We want to hear it.
I know, you gotta hear it. It's so pretty.
Wow.
So Check in the Dark consists of 4 wonderful, beautiful, amazing men who somehow understand my silly, girly insides. It sounds all warm and happy and woody.
We love their music. We'd go to their shows, and one day we were just like, yo, can you make one of Leighton's songs, you know, more your style, like a Check in the Dark style of cover? And we went to one of their shows and just performed Jenny live. It was just like a really raw but like meaningful performance. And Leighton realized how much this is what she loves, and Check in the Dark really opened a lot of doors in her mind musically, because she had no idea that she had these type of melodies. She had no idea that she could play the guitar, and you know, Mike and George really like groomed her and just let her know, you know, just gave her the confidence, because she's got more talent in her pinky than most artists that I've ever worked with.
Okay, so do you guys want to hear a new song? All right. This is, I was thinking of, we can sing it as a duet because it's a love song. And I might forget some of the words because I have them on my phone. We worked together, and there's something that was in my head. It seems like it gets as far as it can get, but then they take it a step further and make it real and beautiful. And then when I go back to just being me, I'm like, this doesn't make sense. I need them.
I want you to have you. You've always wanted.
Obviously, most of the songs are about not necessarily one single experience, and not necessarily a recent experience either. It's about sort of just love and sort of dissolving love and everything around that and those feelings. The thing that really made me start writing this music, I'm thankful for it, even though it included a lot of pain. Not to sound too depressing, but it's like turning bad into good. Get it?
Yeah, keep going. It's not like Leighton needs to do music to be anything. She already has her career. The music is basically to let her fans in on who she is as a person. This isn't just like, oh, let's go out, let's have fun, let's party. This is like, if you want to know who Leighton is, listen to her music now, because it's exactly who she is.
'Cause I know now this was right for me. Now you're feeling all alone. I heard you're sorry now, but
It's probably like 5 or 6. And Whitney Houston, the Bodyguard, had just come out, and Whitney Houston came on. And I was like, I love this song. It gives me chills down my back. And my dad was like, that's what music's supposed to do. I would listen to The Police and Simon and Garfunkel with my dad. And my mom always listened to Bonnie Raitt's, that song, Make Me an Angel. I love that song. Jewel and Fiona Apple, like female artists, and I would just I felt like nobody could hear me, but now that I look back, I'm sure my entire family was like, she's crazy in the room with her door locked and like a hairbrush in front of the mirror, like making entire dance sequences, like, you know, to Pieces of You.
Too long, too long, too long. Something that I've been missing out on. Shame on you.
I definitely didn't have traditional upbringing. In a lot of ways I did. I grew up for most of the time in Florida. You know, we went out on the boat and barbecued, and I went to regular school, and, you know, we had a dog and I had siblings and everything else. My parents and how they've been with us kids were much more open. I'm so open, maybe too much sometimes. I went to a performing arts middle school in New York, and then I came to LA, and I went to, I guess what would be a performing, I went to Hollywood High, so that was like a magnet school. And then I transferred to Beverly Hills High at one point, and they didn't have as much of like performing arts. It was much more like normal high school. And I had a teacher in high school who taught me a lot about technical music things. This guy, Mr. Farmer, you know, how to read music. I also learned piano when I was a kid, so that was probably helpful later on when I wanted to start writing. When I want to do a good job, it's a lot of it is obviously me and my own criticism of myself, but it's also like, I just kind of want to make my dad proud, you know? Music has been important in my life. Writing and creating a song, it's a very compulsive thing, and a melody that means so much to you, and I'll sing my favorite part of a song, not even my favorite song, just something that I really like the pre-chorus to a song over and over and over again, because it feels so good to sing it.
If only we try, I'm not giving up for anyone or anything.
I wrote a lot of my music while I was sort of sitting jet-lagged alone in a hotel room in Paris and Monte Carlo and Budapest while I was shooting a movie out there. A lot of writing in Nashville and Florida. I get inspiration everywhere. My friends, my family, mostly love though.
Home with me, run away into
Okay, so in the second part, the first line of the second part, it goes, instead of it being like the same, it goes, instead of, and let's be, it might be, it kind of goes up. It's like, at light speed, it might be. So I'll start a song with a melody. I'll just be like walking down the street and I'm like, oh, that line and that melody is good, and I have to put it down immediately. Or I'll be about to jump in a cab and I'm like, will you hold on 1 second? And I have to record it really quick.
Leighton writes all of her lyrics down on her phone. You know, she can record most of her melodies whenever she's on the go. She'll be like in a cab, on a plane. She's like, oh, I got a good melody. Why don't I just record it right here, send it to the boys. We all get it immediately on our phones. We check it, we listen to it, write our notes, send it back on the phone. And then, I mean, it's just crazy how technology has changed everything.
The song Untitled honestly started with just a little tiny melody line and the words, something I've been entitled to for too long, too long.
There's something that I've been entitled to too long, too long, too long.
And I think, like, you know, being open to it's really important, and not shutting down my own ideas too quickly, and trusting that maybe this melody line isn't so stupid that it will fit in somewhere, or one line that, you know, like the first line of Heartstrings is doing fine all on my own.
Doing fine all on my own.
And it seemed at first like that's just something I would say. It doesn't sound really poetic or anything, but it's just true, and I didn't have to second guess it, and obviously I have the support of everyone else. And it just seemed to make sense and fit in. But it was the first thing that I thought of, the first thing I sang, and I just had to kind of trust it. To me, words are what explains everything for me. And it means everything to me, but the fact that it would mean something to somebody else is just incredible. And then the next day people are sending me like little snippets of my lyrics and stuff like that, and I just can't even believe anybody listens. It's always such a surprise, a pleasant surprise, but it's really cool.
Leighton is probably the hardest working woman or male that I've ever met. I mean, she goes from doing Gossip Girl Monday to Friday, shooting a movie on Saturday and Sunday, and somehow writing about 1,000 songs every single night before she goes to bed.
So, do you guys want to hear a new song? All right. This is, I was thinking of, we can sing it as a duet because it's a love song. And I might forget some of the words because I have them on my phone.
I'll remember.
So.
Where's your phone?
It's in my purse. Before Check in the Dark, there was collaboration between me and Shahine. We did a lot of writing together. We did tours together.
You know, we went through a whole process, and until you try all the different genres of music, you don't know really what's right for you. So she went through the pop stage. She did the Country Strong movie. She was on rap songs, believe it or not, back whenever I was producing for rappers. She was on Hooks. She did that, and now this is her. This is honestly like her soul. This is how she feels. This is how she talks to me.
Change your heart, no from the start, that's not what we had. You made me glad
Collaboration it's incredibly important. I don't play the drums, I don't play the bass. I can't play guitar like George. He's unbelievable.
If you turn it to the left, it means more of the guitar. If you turn it to the right, it's more of like the processor. So this
And he was really the first person to teach me guitar and showed me that it's not so scary and not so hard, and it's about how you feel. On drums is Eli, who is honestly the glue that keeps everyone together. We've got Etienne, who is the bass player. But he's the missing link when it comes to our music because he comes in, it all makes sense. Then there's Mike, who's the lead singer, writer, guitarist, and he gives me such insight in how to reach people and how to capture my feelings. Oh yeah. Yeah, because I was always doing like a hammer thing to make it more nuts.
You know, our vocals, they blend pretty well together, and it was never really a conflict of sound. You know, with Check in the Dark and Leighton, it was just it was really organic from the get-go.
Leighton basically records most of her melodies down on her phone. You know, she plays it on the guitar with a few key changes and has a nice melody, and then sends it to Check in the Dark, and then we have a rehearsal where everyone just has like a jam session and adds little bitty things like, I like this part, or I don't like this part. Everyone has a voice and we listen, and if it's a good idea, then we just go with it because there's no egos involved.
The last one would be like,
it's not true.
Back to it. You started like doing the finals. Yeah, but that sounds really good. It's back to it.
but everybody puts in their ideas, and everybody's ideas are great usually and totally valid. I mean, I feel like we have a psychic connection. It's really hard to say how many times a day or a week we talk because I'll text them sometimes in the middle of the night and be like, will you just listen to this one little melody, and it's something so stupid and would be embarrassing in any other circumstance, but it's not, and they get it, and it's very lucky for me that I can play them a song and they just know how I feel and kind of the direction I'd want it to go, and they get my vibe, and I think a lot of that is important, that you understand like what the meaning is to the song. Studio is very different from rehearsal, obviously. Okay, cool.
1, 2, 3.
I don't feel pressure. I think it's a wonderful place to continue to experiment, and if something isn't working, even to the very last minute, you can change it. You have to be happy, and that's why I say we have to record things like 10 times sometimes. It's not second nature at all to work in a studio. It's always new, and studios are different, and they're very different than a live venue because, there's no audience. There isn't that feeling or the energy from an audience. But you kind of have to remember that feeling, and I have a very wild imagination, so I can stand in the little booth and feel that way all day long, and it's fun, and I never want it to end. And sometimes even when we have a take, I'm always like, are you sure we got it? I want to do it again, you know, because it feels so good.
Had to save myself from all your evil games, and now we take the
First time I was ever in a recording studio, I was in kind of a really nice one, but it was at this guy's house, and it was for a movie that I did, and they had me record this song, and it was so scary. And then the next time was when I recorded a song with Tony Bennett for Entourage, and that was really scary too, actually.
This is your favorite song.
It's gonna give me a Maserati.
Shahine thinks this song is called Dreamin', Shahine, Maserati, Motoberry.
Yep. Because I'm gonna get a Maserati from this one. I'm telling you, it's a hit. It's a hit. This is a hit.
And this studio itself is really cool. It's Michael Jackson's old studio, and upstairs is a room that was just for his monkey that had a window that can look down at him when he was recording there. It's pretty cool.
I always think Mike's harmony should be higher.
Loud. It is kind of tucked in the back.
His voice is so sweet.
Especially with this kind of music, I've been enjoying just doing it and leaving it be for a little while instead of trying to go and tweak every little thing to make it perfect. It's nice for it to be raw and live and have it be all one take all the way through.
George was like, when you go in there, can you make sure that my guitar gets turned up a little bit?
It's like when people videotape a live show, it's not really meant to be recorded, it's supposed to just be enjoyed for the moment, and I think that's a lot of what like the definition of music is. It's like, you know, something with a beginning and an end and something that you enjoy for the moment, but it's you gotta capture it at some point.
Wow.
He's a genius.
He's good.
He's good.
I thought we were talking about George.
We're talking about you.
I never have seen Bubbles. I don't think Bubbles chills hair anymore. That's so wrong. Stop it.
I tie my heartstrings off.